Welcome to Everything Men, where we discuss and review everything pertaining to men. I'm your host Desmond, and today I have another haircut tutorial for you. This time we're going to be doing a fade on my oldest son Destin. We're going to start with brushing all the hair with the grain so that it lays down flat, and I'm going to come in with the Andy style liner to start my first guideline, my bald guideline, all the way around the head. So as you can see, I'm going to go in starting on the right side, starting that first guideline on the right side, and I'm going to work my way all the way around, making sure I clean up all that hair as I go. This is a pretty simple haircut as long as you follow these steps, and you kind of have to take your time, especially when it comes to the fading, to flick out those lines as you go, because sometimes if you're not detailed and you don't pay too much close attention, you'll still see that line. So I'm going to work my way around, brushing it as I go. All the way around the head with that first guide. A lot of times I don't do a harsh line because that makes it a little bit easier for me to flick out that line and give it that fade look. Just cleaning up the hair with this, and I'm going to start on the other side, trying to make sure that both sides are pretty much starting at the same height. I'm going to connect those, that start and that end point, connect those up together, then I'm going to clean up the hair. I apologize for my shoulder being in the way, but you pretty much saw what I did on that first side is exactly what I'm going to do on this side. What I did on the right, I'm going to do on the left. Now I'm going to come in with my Andes, and I'm going to start on my second guideline, this with the lever open, and I'm going to go up about an inch. Just going to go all the way around, making sure I clean up that hair as I go, getting away, taking away all the bulk I need to take away. The fade is about being thorough as possible. You want to be as thorough as possible. Gonna go all the way around. I think I need to speed it up for you guys, but you pretty much get what I'm doing here. Just gonna go all the way around. Fades are all about being thorough and being very detailed. Now I'm coming in for my final guideline. With that one, I'm going to put on my one guard, and it's going to be closed, and I'm going to go up about another inch, and I'm going to work my way all the way around. And of course, I'm going to brush it as I go, because that helps that hair fall where it needs to fall. especially when you're using the guard, because a lot of times you're pushing hair out of the way, so you want to make sure you push that hair back into place where it needs to be, so that everything you want to cut gets cut. Just gonna work my way around, brushing as I go. Okay, you guys get it? I'm gonna speed it on up right about here. Sometimes you have to change direction. You have to go against that grain. So sometimes the hair lays down sideways, and you want to go sideways against the grain in order to get all the hair that you need to get. See, I went sideways right there, because against the grain, his hair goes forward right there. So I need to go backwards in order for me to go against the grain. Now I'm going and I'm feathering it out. So what I did was I opened up my one guard, and now I'm gonna get rid of some of that line with the open lever, and I'm gonna get rid of some of that line, that next guideline with the open lever on the one guard. When I cut it down, I usually use the one guard to with the grain to trim it down, but to get it going, to get it faded into that, I like to go against the grain with the lever open. Now I'm going to fade out that last guideline that I just did, and I'm going to use the zero guard close, and I'm going to flick up into that guideline. I'm not going too far up. If I go up any higher than I need to, then I need to adjust my lever. But as of now, it's closed, and I'm just flicking into that line, trying to get that line erased. It takes a lot of patience. This probably wasn't one of my best haircuts, but it takes a lot of patience to get that line out sometimes, because sometimes it's just stubborn. I was having a little trouble on this one, getting that line out. So I'm going to work my way around, and I'm just going to flick up into the line all the way around the head until I pretty much got that line erased. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll flick it out to the best of my ability with the Andes, and I'll move on to the next line. And as the haircut comes together, as I always go back and work on it some more. That line is just stubborn this time. So now I'm going to get out that bottom guideline, the bald guideline, and this time I'm going back with the Andes, and this time with the lever closed, and I'm going to flick out that bottom guideline. Using this flicking motion, I'm going to go all the way around the head, trying to lighten that line up until it's to my satisfaction. Like I said, this time, for some reason, it wasn't the best. I was having some difficulty, but I think maybe it's time for me to change the blades up, because they're not hitting like I want. you're going to go all the way around. You're going to try to smooth out that bottom guideline so that you no longer see it, and it's a smooth transition between lengths of hair. Hang in there for me, Destin. Hang in. That guideline is being really stubborn, but you have to take your time. Sometimes you have to move on, take a step back, maybe change tactics, and just move on and come back to it later. I'm not the fastest in the world by a long shot, but I am very patient, and I do a lot of detail. I pay close attention to detail. This is all about saving money, guys, you know. It's all about saving money. As you can see, the Andes just weren't doing it for me. So I'm coming back in with the walls, and because they cut a little bit closer, so I'm still working at that bottom guideline, trying to flick it out with the walls. So go all the way around the head, trying to lighten up that line as much as possible. Now, like I said, I'm using the walls, and the lever is closed. Now I'm going back with the walls, with the guard on, to get that second guideline. I need to erase that one some more as well. I need to fade that one out some more as well. So I'm going back with those walls, with the guard, lever closed, to try to flick out that second guideline. Feeling good about it now. So now I'm going to take some bulk off the top, try to knock it down, and I'm going in with the Ulsters with the one guard, and I'm going with the grain. You guys, you want to play close. I start with the swirl when I'm going with the grain. I usually start at the swirl, and I'm following that swirl, going with the grain, and go all the way around the head. See, I turn my clippers in the direction in which the hair is going around that swirl. I'm going to work my way around. Destin, you hung in there like a champ, man. I know you were getting kind of impatient. You wanted to go play Fortnite, but you did need a haircut. This here's my oldest. It's my number one son. I love him to death. He's being a real good sport right now. I'm just going in and I'm trying to Go as slow and methodical as possible, making sure that I'm cutting all those little flyaways and stray hairs. And now we're going back in with the oasters, and I'm going to try to take out some more bulk off those guidelines. Gonna get that zero guard out, and I'm trying to flick out that line. I am not satisfied. But this one, I think I'm using that zero guard open, trying to blend that top with the fade. I'm just back and forth right now. At this point, I think I'm getting frustrated. Alright, back to the Andes. Those Andes cut a tad bit closer than the oasters. So I'm really not cutting much, I'm just really getting straight hairs up top. Now it's time for the lining. Take a step back to see how I'm going to approach it. Starting from the left, working my way to that middle. Starting from the right, working my way to the middle, going to join the two lines. And you have to take a step back at times so you can make sure everything is straight. Working my way to that corner, got that corner, working back to that left corner, come down that side, nice and crispy. Now when you do that side part right there, you want to brush forward into where that line is going to be. That's going to make sure all those hairs are cut. So no matter which way your child brushes or which way you brush your child's hair, that line is going to remain sharp. Working on that curve, only using the corner of the blade so I can get me a nice curve going. Curve, like I say, only using the corner of the blade. I'm gonna come down in that corner. Get all those side blades off. Now I'm going in and making sure I got all the little stray hairs and things that those style liners didn't get. I'm going cleaning that up. Now I'm going to the part. I'm gonna work my way back. And of course, once I work my way back, cleaning up all the hairs I go, I'm going to turn the clippers upside down, and I'm gonna get the bottom side of that part to make that line nice and crisp. Just take your time. It's not a rush. Your kid's gonna get frustrated, but if you take your time, I promise you'll get good results. Now I'm doing the bottom side of that part, and I'm gonna work my way to that front. I'm going in with the Andes, getting a little, flicking out some more of those fade lines. Making sure I'm nice and satisfied. Like I said, this haircut was frustrating. It's time for me to get some new blades, but I did make it work. Try to get it flicked out and fade it up real good. And that's the end, man. Here's the finished results. I appreciate you, Destin, for sticking in there like a champion. I gotta get those waves on point for you too, man. But I really appreciate you, son. That's the finished result. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.